Good evening and welcome to Carter Shed. So it's a little bit of a different video because I'm not doing very much in it, but I am one very excited Shedeez. So I've got a couple of things to share with you, some future projects coming up as well. But obviously the main thing is we have power, we have lights. It's only taken 2 and a bit years to get to this point. My fault. I was dragging my feet about building a shed extension. That was holding everything up. So that's done. So let's have a look at what we've been up to. So the biggest regret for the shed when I built it was I didn't make it high enough. I should have made it higher. The slope runs, this is the highest point down. I can still stand over another side, but there ain't much space up above me on that point. So I didn't really have an option to mount lights on the ceiling, so I went for this option instead. Mounted at the highest point and put 3 of these. I've just got them on a threaded insert into the plywood, and then I've just made a little wooden knob with a bolt through the middle, glued in, and that just tightens it up nice onto there, and it means that I can swivel the lights to point them at wherever I want. So these are the lights I've went for. They're actually outdoor floodlights, but they're a little bit more than that. They're Bluetooth enabled, so on the app here I've got them all hooked up. You can turn them on and off individually. You can turn all 3 on and off. Change the colour to whatever you want. Red, green, blue. But the reason I went for these was to give me a little bit more flexibility when I'm filming. See the brightness, the colour that you want, so you can just gives you that little bit of flexibility if you want it. There is other functions. Your 7 colour crossfade, for example, bump the speed up, fly through the colours. There is the mic feature at the bottom of the app there as well. So if you've got music on, it'll listen to the music and it'll mimic the music with the lights for if you want to have a party in the shed while you're making stuff. So that's the lights done. I'm really happy with them. But the main thing is getting the power out here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another 3 doubles on the far wall, and 1 high level on this wall here. There's also, this is on 1 ring, there's another ring, there is another ring in the shed extension, but on this ring that's in the shed, there's another double in the shed extension. I'll touch on why there's a double in there on that ring later on. But on this ring, all the sockets are onto an isolator. So when I finish up in the shed, on the way out the door, I just knock off the isolator and I know that everything in here is off. There's no fear of anything still being on, maybe causing a fire hazard or anything. But that's not the main reason for the isolator. The main reason is for the little ones. I don't want them coming in here and being able to turn on anything. It's just there's too many dangerous things that can hurt them. So isolator, it's up at the highest point. I did specify to the Sparky when I was getting quotes that I wanted a rotary isolator that I could lock out with a padlock. He's not supplied that, and you'll see what he has supplied. It's not the best solution, but it's going to work. The kids aren't going to be able to reach up there. By the time they do, they'll know the rules, and if I'm not happy with it, I can always change over and get a rotary isolator in. So that is the power. So that's the power for in here, I should say, but I've also got 2 doubles and an external double in the shed extension. So they're obviously not on the isolator because I want them for running Christmas lights, Halloween decorations. I might put a security camera tied back into one. An upcoming video, I'm also fitting an external light, but it's going to be tied into one of the doubles. It's going to be something that you can do without a Sparky, and you'll be able to switch it off from in the shed or in the house. So that's quite cool. That's coming up. But touching back onto the ring that's in the shed with the isolation, the double socket in there is so that I can power the dust extractor and the air compressor on the same ring, and again isolate them so I know that they're off and I don't have to worry about them. So the only other thing to update you on in here is a Cat 8 cable. So I pulled this through at the same time as I pulled the SWA into the house for the Sparky prior to him coming out. So Cat 8 cable. The shed is now connected to the anywhere you want to go. Well, it's not connected at the moment because there's nothing plugged in. So what else have I been up to? Out in the shed extension, another couple little jobs. I've mounted a shelf in there to pop the air compressor onto, out of the way. I have also mounted the reel in the shed, so now got a hole coming through from in here, and the air compressor can be pulled straight into the shed, but it can also be air compressor. The hose can be pulled into the shed, or it can be pulled out onto the driveway, which is really nice because previously for checking tyre pressures and putting some air in the tyre, you could only do the back two tyres if it was reversed in, or the front if it was forward in, funnily enough. So that is great to have that, and you can reach all four tyres, get both cars. It's just very nice to have it working like that. I have also sorted out the front of in front of the shed extension because I hadn't done anything with the ground, I hadn't levelled it off, and I've added in a few new slabs, made some steps, just so it's a bit nicer for when you're opening up and going in and out of the front of there. The little one was very helpful in doing a jump test once the cementing is set, so that's very handy. So what's coming up next? I've already touched on one of the projects, the external light, but I think the next project will be managing this. I'll be moving the vacuum into the shed extension, hooking up a cyclone to it, and then I've got a solution for managing this hose which I think is pretty cool. I've never seen anyone else do it, so hopefully I'm pioneering a new idea. I've obviously seen the swing arms and the spools, but yeah, not what I'm going to do. I don't know if it's going to work, but hopefully it does. What else have we got? Adding another tool to the ultimate bandsaw tool stand, and there's an Aussie Maker challenge. Daniel from Woodworking with Dash, spring box challenge, I think. I'll link to Daniel's challenge and the video for the introduction to the challenge. So hopefully I get an entry into that. And obviously I've got all the material for building the big workbench unit to house the laser and a load of drawers and storage. I've got all the material for that. That's a biggie, so I'll be working on that as well. That's everything. If you're still here, thank you very much for watching, and good evening.